Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with some more info on the upcoming Life and Death expansion pack. This is just going to be some leftover SimGuru Q&A that did not make it into my previous video because my review of the gameplay trailer was very long. I just figured I would separate this into its own thing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We'll start off with the fun fact about us, the players. So in response to the gameplay trailer, SimGuru Morgan says, "Love when Grimm says the truth is that old age, fire, and anger claim more Sims lives than any other form of death." Because that's an actual Sims 4 fact. I had a feeling, but interesting to have that confirmed because I'm surprised that death by drowning's not on there. I mean, that's such a classic Sims death, but I guess it's because drowning Sims is much tougher to do now than it was, say, in The Sims 1, where all you had to do was get a Sim swimming in the pool and then take out the pool ladder before they can get out, and then they're just trapped. They weren't smart enough to just pull themselves up from just like the side and then get out that way. Nope, that was it. But yeah, maybe if it was still like that now, then it could be, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see little stats like that. And speaking of Grimm, Cinderella Mouse says, "Why do I feel like I recognize the voice of Grimm? I need to know the actor." And SimGuru Bat says, "It's the same voice as Soldier 76 from Overwatch." His name is Fred Tadashori, and I looked at his IMDb page. The list of credits is very, very long. He has done a lot of voice acting work. Next is Bucket List. So the English Simmer says, "I'm still confused by the Soul's journey and how it's tracked." Jack of All Games says, "My understanding is it collates different systems like wants, aspirations, etc. and brings them all together as one giant system alongside new systems like the Bucket List. Seems to me that it's organizing all of these separate systems into one big one." And SimGuru Morgan did reply to this thread saying, "Yes, what Jack of All Games said above is accurate about it being encompassing, but also Bucket List and Unfinished Business are the primary ways to progress on your soul's journey, and they're tracked in the same UI, to explain why the trailer goes straight into them." And Morgan also did reply to Jack saying, "I fell in love the first time I got to play it, and it's going to be a system I play with regularly. For me, it was a 'where have you been all my life' moment in gameplay, and I didn't even know I needed it." See, this just validates what I've been saying. Like, I made that one video especially just about how the bucket list feature is the thing I am looking forward to most with Life and Death, and it does feel like it is going to be one of those things that does bleed into my everyday gameplay, no matter which sim I'm playing as. I hope there will be a lot of variation with the possible bucket list goals that you can get, and the SimGurus have said previously there's supposed to be tons of them, so hopefully then I won't just keep getting the same few over and over again, like say with lifestyles. But speaking of pack integration, Davey asked, "Are there any interactions with the Paranormal Stuff pack?" And SimGuru Nova says, "More on that soon," which is probably the developer livestream, which I still haven't seen any official confirmation as to when that's going to be. There isn't much time left, so I think it'll be either this Thursday or Friday, but I haven't seen anything on the Sims YouTube or Twitch page on their schedules about any upcoming live streams. So yeah, but it'll probably be sometime later this week. We're already getting the patch this coming Tuesday, so I don't think they're going to do it the same day as that. But that does have me curious, seeing those specters from Paranormal Stuff occasionally just floating about in the trailers, but just given no explanation whatsoever. They do seem to have different facial expressions from what we saw in that stuff pack, but what is their function? What's the point of them being there? Other than it's just, oh, we kind of have a similar crossover theme going on. I think there's also a decent chance that the Seance table could have integration with Life and Death. So maybe if Sims have enough medium skill, they could choose to commune with specific ghosts rather than it always being random. SimGuru Ninja tweets, "My ghost occults have way too many powers." I didn't think anything of this when I first saw this tweet, but maybe it means something other than just having most or all of the skill tree unlocked as a ghost. Because, well, could we possibly have some form of hybrids finally in The Sims 4? Because I've seen other people ask the question, what's gonna happen when you have life and death installed and an occult turns into a ghost that you keep around? Because then if they change that, maybe you could have, for example, a spellcaster passing on, but still keeping all the spells that they've learned, but also gaining the powers of a ghost. Having a spellcaster ghost hybrid, I think that could be really cool. I'm not expecting that. I remember SimGuru Grant said several years ago that hybrid occults in The Sims 2 were a nightmare to manage, and that's why they haven't really officially supported them in The Sims 3 onward. So it would be a really cool surprise if they did it, but I'm not expecting it. I still think it'll just be, oh, if an occult turns into a ghost and they stick around, then they'll just have ghost powers and that's it. And then if they get rebirthed, then maybe you could get your occult powers back, but I'm not sure. So it turns out one more sim is getting a refresh, and that is the Grim Reaper himself. So Luddy Simmer said, before you try for baby, this is what the Grim Reaper without a hood looks like. And Morgan replies saying, we thought of this. Per lore, he's an entity and doesn't really have a face. You never see it in-game without cheats. His babies will be born from a new genetic preset of him, so long as you're on a fresh save. So, okay, this makes sense because, like, when they updated the Goths and the Calientes, they still remain the same in your old saves if you had any saves from before those updates went out. So, yeah, that's too bad, though. I would have to, I guess, kill off Death himself and then cause a new one to generate, so then there'll be the proper new genetics in there post-life and death. Now we'll talk about some more Create a Sim item previews from SimGuru Bat. So, she says, it's a little hard to see, by the way, on the new Mohawk Hair on Nervous, but it has a subtle but visible natural hair texture to it. Oh, okay, so we do have a SimGuru now confirming that it's Nervous subject, but I'll try and get a pic in-game when I can. Here's a close-up. You can see the texture on the Mohawk itself and the scalp area. Oh, okay, I see what she's talking about. It's like a sheen, sort of. But that is cool, and they've just improved hair so much since the game first came out in 2014. There's still so many in the game that look very plasticky and outdated that I just scroll past every time when I'm making a new sim. They updated the Afro texture ones, which was much needed, and they look so much better now. But yeah, my goodness, they really should update the other ones too. I mean, even the free hairstyles we got in much later years look a lot better than the 2014 ones. Next is a new t-shirt. So Bat says, I think this was one of my favorite graphics I got to work on. 16-year-old me would have died, pun intended, to get this shirt. Haha. So that is a really cool design for sure. The skull and then the raven just kind of like coming out like in a trail of smoke, sort of. Yeah, that's really neat. Definitely want some of my Sims to wear that one. And then in reply to Flo, side note, this new hair is fantastic. Bat says, thank you. It was inspired by the lovely Josephine Baker. Yeah, that is a really cute hairstyle for sure. Lastly, on a very adorable note, Rustic Sims posted screenshots from the gameplay trailer of the baby raven costume. So cuteness. And Bat says that she designed that one. I totally missed that in the trailer, but that is adorable. I definitely would want to have a sim dressed up in that. Now, if only we could get a Seagull costume. That'd be both cute and hilarious. And that's pretty much it. So again, I think this pack is just shaping up really well so far. Even with the string of mediocre packs or just outright disappointing ones, it's just like once in a while we get that one pack that actually is really good. Like with Cottage Living, even Growing Together to an extent, even though I feel like some of that should have been a base game update, like with milestones. But I hope that this will end up being really good in the end and not super disappointing. I'm still expecting the patch on Tuesday to just wreak havoc and break so many things. But as for the pack itself, I hope this will be a really good one. And it's just surprising too, because this is, again, a theme that I thought would just not be up my alley at all. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this pack so far, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!